Hello folks, this video, feel free to tune out. There will be a couple pictures to describe what I'm going to talk about in this video, but that's really all there is in the video to see. This video, I've been playing XCOM 2 recently, and I think it is a really fun game. Obviously, they have improved on a lot of aspects from the original. However, there's a couple things that, well, I have to nitpick over. One of them isn't too big, because I will say right now, there is a mod to get rid of this problem. So yeah, mods have already been released, they've saw a problem for some people, and they fixed it. The other one might not be so simple to fix. It would probably require the developers changing this themselves. But yeah, on to the first subject, which is the fact that every mission has a timer. Now this is a bit annoying for people, as, well, a lot of people want to take the game at their own pace and actually use strategy and not have to rush and get seen by a sectoid or whatever who just then takes control of one of your soldiers, something like that. Back in the old days, well, when I say the old days, I mean Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within. There was only 4 situations where there was a timer. Bomb missions, which didn't occur too often. You would mostly get VIP extraction or something like that. Confounding Light if you had the Slingshot DLC, which that mission wasn't too fun for me, but that's because of the timer making me have to rush, just like I said. The third one is Newfoundland, when you're running to get back from the ship, but that is not too bad, because that always happens obviously, and if you have good mobility you're going to get away. Just need to watch for the chrysalids, that's it. The fourth one, and this one was completely optional, was the melt. Keeping the timers mostly optional, or mostly not going to happen unless, this pops up from a council mission. That was the good way to go. But this, a lot of people have been saying it takes away from the strategy because you're having to rush. But like I said at the beginning of the video, there is already a mod to either increase the time to, by an extra 4 turns, so you're still in a rush but you can use a bit more strategy, or you can disable it completely, and this is only day 2 of release. Day 3 for Europe and Asia, because technically it came out the 4th. But I digress. So there is mods already to fix this, so this isn't as big a problem. The second little nitpick I haven't really played multiplayer myself, but I just took a look at the multiplayer thing, and this is the problem I found. When I had a look at the multiplayer unit list or whatever, there's all the aliens. I'm not going to spoil them, in case anyone's going through the story. But when I had a look at these soldiers, I know the equipment is kind of a spoiler, but there's nothing I could do with that. When I had a look here, the only thing you can customize of a human soldier is the utility item. Now the problem I see with this is, back in Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within, the screenshot I'm going to show in a minute or two is from Enemy Unknown, because I have Long War installed on Enemy Within. And Enemy Unknown is basically the same thing, just prices have changed, some new items, la-di-da-di-da. But here you can only customize the utility item. And I feel as though that takes away from some of the unit building aspect, because, well, like I said, if you wanted an assault but you just want a basic shotgun to save a little bit of points so that maybe your sniper could get an extra scope or something, or just get a scope, you could. So yeah, just to compare this to XCOM 1, as you can see, the class can be changed, so can their subclass. Obviously the subclass costs 2,250 points. I have thought up a way to modify that, not as in mod the game, but for the developers to maybe make this better. I'll go over that in a minute though. You can change your primary weapon, your pistol, and your body armor, as well as your utility item. Now, the way I'm suggesting to make this better would be to be able to change your primary weapon and your body armor. The reason why I'm not saying secondary weapon is I do not know if the classes at any point in the main, in the campaign can actually change their secondary weapon. I really don't think they can though. So that's why I'm leaving that out. So obviously one thing to make it better would be to allow use of a lower tier of weapon and a lower tier of armor to reduce the cost, and maybe make someone else just a little bit better. Then the other thing I'm suggesting is, with the units in XCOM 2, it's only one whole side of one tree and one whole side of the other per class. There's no mix like it was in Enemy Unknown with this subclass here. So, what I'm suggesting is that you can choose the soldiers' perks themselves. However, on each class's perk tree, each perk costs a certain number of points. That way, say you don't like any of these, right? Say you don't like the whole side of the Phantom tree, but you wished to heck you could have something from the Blade tree. You, instead of being stuck with one side of the tree, could in fact have a mix, your own personal mix. And that would also make it a little bit more strategic in terms of the actual multiplayer game itself as well. Because it's not just like, oh yeah, he's got 2 points of armor, he's guaranteed to be a demo grenadier. Instead of that, you might not get that one extra armor from that skill. It's in the demolition side. And they might think it's a gunner, but you are actually a demo. You're a hybrid. Which means they'll have to then think, okay, what kind of perks could this guy have? And what am I going to do to hopefully counter that? And it's the same with the sharpshooter tree. You might like a couple of perks from the long range tree, but you might love the heck out of the gunslinger tree and want most of them in that. It makes for a versatile unit. However, of course, this does open the thing of one class could then be quite powerful. Good at close range, good at long range. But then again, that's all up to the user's preference. So, yeah, that's just one way I'm thinking could make this better. Obviously with the aliens and not Exalt, I've been playing too much Long War, Advent, it makes sense you can't change them. Just as you couldn't change Exalt. But the human units, they're just not customizable as they used to be in multiplayer. And I used to play multiplayer a lot. I've played like 150 matches back in Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within. I only lost 9. I was playing on PS3 though, so there might not be as good people there. And also, connection issues. I wasn't counting any of them, so yeah. I probably tried to play a lot more, but connection issues, console. Anyway though, that's just my 2 cents as how to make this better. Because I really want this game to be as fun as possible. And for multiplayer, that, to me, kind of takes away the freedom that was in the original multiplayer. But hey, they did make one improvement. The Sectopod is actually a usable unit. If anyone remembers, the Sectopod was actually supposed to be in the original game, but it was removed at one point. So yeah. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents. If you like this, share it, all that good stuff. Yeah. This has been Scottish Boy 112, signing out. Good luck, Commanders.